So you all know this guy.
Cue intro. I don't have an intro.
Well, so do I. The guy who I'm starting to think of is our very own PewDiePie of the Philippines. My opinion. And like PewDiePie is also a fellow YouTuber who laughs and plays video games. Ah, Pinoy pala tayong dalawa pre. So, pwede na ba ako magsalita ng Filipino ngayon sa vlog na ito? Days ago, he made this tweet making an opinion about a post lecturing men to respect women regardless about their clothing, with a picture of a half-naked girl walking in public. Now, does that issue sound familiar to you? Twitter, the very social media site where everyone is entitled to share their opinions, statements, quotes, and thoughts freely where it is shown publicly. GLOCO, also a guy entitled to his own opinions. He posted an analogy and a statement on Facebook as an argument against that post, saying that women should wear what is appropriate and stop telling people to adjust for you. Well, doesn't that sound derogatory? Again, it's a fucking opinion. That's why he has a YouTube series called GLOCO Opinions where he gives out his own view about a certain issue also for content. At the same time, the analogy of his post is clear. Since we Filipinos live in a country with a strong established democracy, obviously even the most debatable opinion is exchanged every day. I mean, this issue should have been saved for a GLOCO Opinion episode, right? Look, no need to. Whatever happens in Twitter, stays in Twitter. He even has to make an entire thread of tweets to solidify his standpoint. But really, what is this all about? Blaming women's clothing as a reason why she is a victim of any kinds of sexual harassment. Because if you wear this appealing attire in the public, it's no excuse to why you shouldn't be blamed for all of the men finding you attractive, or if not, taking the risk of getting harassed. But reconsidering it if this picture is set near the beach where everyone wears the same type of attire, so I guess it shouldn't be worth the risk, right? Oh wait, should we blame the sexy billboard advertisements on the streets for distracted driving now? I mean, why do you think they are supposed to be sexy for the sake of advertising a product, or by all means to be called sexy? Oh yeah, what if I refuse to call this girl's attire sexy? Could that be more offensive than telling you to dress appropriately to prevent harassers? Look, we men get it. We respect what you want to wear, and that's also what GLOCO clarified on his Facebook post. He has a point because his statement, even without research, is to start using the common sense. Common sense, whereas the point of clothing is to cover your nakedness. Because if this statement is stereotyping the entirety of men as perverted idiots, and teaching us how to respect women, then your opinion is meant to be argued upon. Not all of us men are the same people, and not all of us men have the same ability to respect. Why put the caption telling all men to respect what you want to wear, while what you're wearing is this? At the same time, you also made your point that there is no dress code for rape. And heck, it also takes a mural to prove it. An interesting way to send a message with one lacking. Why am I not seeing this clothing on that wall also? Because there is clearly no dress code for getting sexually harassed and thinking that wearing this will be the end of your problems.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Look, as a man, I admit that wearing this makes you look sexy and attractive. It is good, and I hope you take that as a compliment because you wanted to be appreciated by your choices. And not only as a compliment, but it's science, bitch! It's innate, it's biological, it's natural, it's called sexual attraction. Now, I'm not saying that as an excuse as to why men should harass women. No! But forgetting the fact that it's also a man's natural instinct to find women attractive is also the problem. It's about rethinking and taking considerations here, and assessing reality. However, telling or rather lecturing men how to respect women while wearing this isn't sexy, it's annoying. Again, GLOCO has a point. You don't leave a car door open and tell a carnapper to not steal your car when he steals your car anyway because you left your car door open.
To say that clothing is related to harassment is factually incorrect. Do your research. Talk to victims. You are using your platform irresponsibly and causing harm to young girls. Have you ever spoken to a victim in your life? Really hoping to get an answer. How many victims have you spoken to be able to come up with your opinions? How do you know?
First off, saying that GLOCO uses his platform irresponsibly does not invalidate his opinion, or saying that he is causing harm to young girls makes your statement any more relevant than his.
You're a basic bitch.
Secondly, it is your responsibility to make your factual research instead of simply telling GLOCO that he should do so. Despite he explained everything in his thread of opinions that you obviously failed to read so far, because you're still looking for his answer.
You're a basic bitch.
Third, how should he know? Where is your own thread of arguments that debunks his own thread of opinions? Where is your factual research? Okay, so you just left this tweet telling him to do his research to make sure his opinion doesn't matter any more than you do.
Yeah, nigga, I'm still fucking with you. Still waters run deep. Still Snoop Dogg and D.R.E.
Telling girls that they weren't cautious enough is victim blaming. And please, you're on the road to normalizing these crimes.
So making an opinion, an analogy, an argument, and a statement reminding women about the ongoing evil in society that has nothing personal so far is normalizing a crime.
Putang ina.
So if my video is about making Hitler memes, can I be in the road to normalizing Nazism to prove my point that your argument is invalid? Because is it really victim blaming or playing the victim in tweet form?
You're a basic bitch.
Look, I know feminism had nothing to do with this, but I'm starting to think it is. Feminism then, equal constitutional and legal rights regardless of gender.
Isn't feminism simply the idea that women have the same human rights as men? No, it isn't. That philosophy is called classical liberalism, which holds that we are all equally endowed by God with the inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Are these idiots going to be out on the street once again? So-called feminists physically trying to block people from voting for a woman who would be the first female president of France. Yeah, put some clothes on, you're a fucking disgrace.
To the few who calls my post victim blaming, open your eyes to the cruelty of the world we live in. We can't change everyone, lalo na yung mga matatanda at mga salot talaga sa lipunan. May dahilan kung bakit may mga batas at may mga pulis tayo, because there are threats. Threats beyond our control. There might even come a time where kahit anong precaution pa natin, gagawa ng paraan yan mga salot na yan para saktan o nakawan tayo. That's the effed up world we live in. We want to be vigilant to lessen the chances of harm coming to us. It's because that while you push an agenda towards men that what women wear should be respected, even to the point where you are half naked without considering both the risk and the reality of our everyday situation in society, does not work at the snap of a finger. Then your statement goes over and over again till words only matter more than actions. But at least you'll get the feeling of having the moral high ground. It's called virtue signaling. Because pushing a good agenda through a Facebook post just to show off your righteous indignation bullshit, without even bothering to assess the reality of our society, does not change anything. Or rather, painting a mural telling society that there is no dress code for rape does not eradicate 100% of society's crime cases of rape. But I do understand that the meaning of the mural is against victim blaming. Yes, really. I do like your Banksy-style wall painting though. It still is interesting. Why can't we just accept that we are still living in a world more like Game of Thrones and not just some random Disney movie? That's why these left-wing couples were killed by ISIS in their territory trying to prove that evil is a make-believe concept.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
We don't live in a very ideal world. Our world is fucked up. Alright? Society doesn't really function the way that we want it to.
Okay, so here's the real deal. To make sure that I am looking on both sides of the coin so that there won't be any bias here, I made a brief factual research. And since they stood on a standpoint where clearly there is no dress code for all forms of sexual harassment, they're not wrong. There are exhibitions across the world where they display the clothes of victims and what they were wearing while they were raped. In Iran, women face violent assaults for not wearing a hijab. But wearing a hijab or not, they also face violence in the New York subways. In the Philippines, 7 out of 10 rape victims are children, and over 1,600 minors are nabbed for rape in 2 years. In Manila, there are over 11,500 women victims of physical and sexual violence in 2017 alone. It has been 23 years since we implemented the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. However, there are small but good changes so far. The House already made stricter and stiffer punishments for sexual crimes. In Manila, catcalling is finally banned. In Iloilo City, the number of rape cases began to sink. Therefore, rape exists because of rapists. Look, we cannot question how we are going to stop them because there is no actual solution. Except the solution that we can lessen these numbers of cases. Remember when GLOCO made his opinion on death penalty?
What I want to happen to the rapists is, I want them tortured. I want them to suffer first. Suffer more than how they made their victims suffer. Then we kill them. That's my moral standpoint.
Apparently, that episode was made right after another rape case in Cebu where the 16-year-old victim's face is skinned and their throat parts removed. The absolute brutality of the crime scene has led to the possibility of the reimposition of the death penalty. 6 out of 10 Filipinos by majority want the death penalty back according to the Social Weather Station survey. Since rape exists because of rapists, there's the solution, there's the opportunity. Say no more. Oh. Yeah, Lenny Robredo is also a virtue signaling bitch.
Yeah. You basic.
Honestly speaking, yes, I do. I want them to suffer, I want them to pay for their crimes, And most of all, if they did something really heinous, I want them dead. Now, hold on before you start typing and labeling me as some kind of psychopathic anarchist who's devoid of humanity. Another question arises. Is the Philippines ready for the death penalty? In reality, here in the Philippines, I don't think the death penalty will help us at all. I think it's just gonna cause more chaos. That's the most simple example I can give you guys right now.
Overall, I do see both sides of the argument. The reason why GLOCO, including me, had to make a standpoint is because the post is obviously opinionated. But just don't leave it there without your constructive argument. Otherwise, it will sound stupid the longer you wait. We want to argue with smart people, and I know tweets are never enough. Because if everyone is entitled to share their standpoint, there's a reason why I made this video about my view on architecture. Right after they burned me on Twitter for criticizing the architectural design of a hospital. Now, I know it was a one person versus the world situation, and trust me, just like GLOCO, it was an experience to enjoy and learn. How do you like my new profile pic? And unlike most people out there who delete their tweets mostly because of humiliation, still kept my mistake of a tweet until this very day to the next. Including my apology and the fact that I admit that it was a mistake. Look, if you don't admit that you make them, then how can you expect people to trust you that you are completely honest with yourself that you do make mistakes? If no one is really perfect, then why do you have to hide your imperfection? Behold, my 10th vlog. Despite only having more or less 100 views on each videos on my channel, whether you know my content or not. Yes, sometimes I also make vlogs about politics. Now I know no one does it, wants it, likes it, and neither do I. Even GLOCO does not want to talk about politics. But what if I tell you that everything is politics? Even personal opinions and the fact that GLOCO's opinion is in favor for supporting the death penalty is politics. Speaking about my channel's content, it's not like I'm gonna make more drawings about Miss Vietnam, right? Oh, by the way, I like your new hairstyle though, and I'm gonna miss your classic pixie cut that I always love. It's okay.
Stop it. Get some help.